This video is going to be on a 5-figure summary and box plots. So firstly, before we even go to 5-figure summaries and box plots, I just want to clear up one thing. So this diagram here is a diagram of a rectangle that is broken up into 4 sections. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So with this triangle, or this rectangle, sorry, the whole purpose of this shape is that I want to just clarify one thing. Hopefully you guys know from previous years that this rectangle is divided up into quarters. So we know this as the first quarter. This is going to be the second quarter. This is going to be the third quarter, and this is going to be the fourth quarter. Okay, so what we need to do, and how this is related to box plots, is because of this idea that box plots, the way we construct box plots is by dividing them into 4 different parts. Okay, so when we remember box plots, this is actually going to be called this part right here. Okay, this dividing section is going to be called the first quartile. Okay, so this section right here will be called the second quartile, because it's related to everything in these 2 bits right here. Second quartile. And this part right here is going to be called the third quartile. Okay, so just extending from your previous knowledge, quarter just means the actual section, quartile means the actual place, which represents the area behind it. So let's move on to box plots. When we're looking at box plots, there's 5 different things that we need to know when constructing a box plot. We use box plots to represent data. So this can be transferred into something that looks like maybe a stem and leaf plot graph, or this may be also put into something that looks like a pie graph or a bar graph or different types of graphs. But box plots is just another way of representing data. Let's look at the 5 bits of information. This first bit here is what we call the minimum. It's called the minimum because this represents the least or the smallest value on the data set. So say you're given a data set, this is the smallest value. Likewise, this is called the maximum. So this represents the largest value in the data set. Now there's one more thing that we can just quickly look at here, and this is this point right here. You can see that the box is drawn in such a way that there's actually a line in the middle. This is actually known as the median. Or if you remember what the median means, it's that after you arrange a set of numbers, it is the number directly in the middle. So say for example you have the numbers 45, 52, 55, 59, 61 and 73, and then 75. It is the number in the middle. So 45, 52, 55. This number right here is in the middle because there's 3 on this side, there's 3 on this side, this number is the middle. This number would be the median, or the middle. Now there's 2 other pieces that we need to quickly have a look at. If you remember that box plot or that rectangle thing that I've mentioned before, this is actually Q1, or in other words, the first quartile. Okay, and this part right here is actually Q2, or the Q3, third quartile. So this is the upper quartile, this is the lower quartile. So how does this relate to the box drawing that we did before. If you can see, this box plot can be broken up into 4 different sections. We can break it up from here all the way down to here. That's the first box. Here up to here. That's the second box. Here up to here. That's the third box. And here up to here. That's the fourth box. So that's why I wanted to represent that drawing before to you, is that each of these sections, so this first section, that represents 1/4 of the data. Okay. Now, if you look at this section right here, this again represents 1/4 of the data. This part right here represents 1/4 of the data, and this part right here represents 1/4 of the data. So if you chop up all these quarters, if you combine all these quarters and chop it right in the middle, what you'll see is that this middle point right here is how we get the median. Okay, anyway, let's quickly go through an example just so that we can understand how to tackle these sorts of questions. Alright, say you collect a bunch of data and they relate to the height of students in your classroom. Okay, and say the data points that you got were 164, 166, 181, 172, 175, 157, 169, 159, and 180. Alright, say we want to construct a box plot out of these specific values right here, and this is measured in centimeters. So what we would do is, first, we would need to understand that a box plot can only be created if you have the 5-figure summary. So the 5-figure summary consists of the minimum value, consists of Q1, consists of the median, consists of Q3, and consists of the maximum. Okay? So the way we have to do this is by, first, I like to 1. Rearrange data in ascending order. Okay, so let's rearrange this data in ascending order. So you should get 157. Okay, we'll tick that off. 159. Tick that off. 164, 166, and 169. Okay, we'll tick those off. 172, 175, 180, and 181. So we'll take all those off. So I've rearranged all these points into ascending order. Now after you arrange all these points into ascending order, then we can have a look. What is our smallest value? Our smallest value in this case is 157. What is our Q1 and Q3? Well, we won't worry about that just yet. What is our max? Well, our max is 181. Okay, so we've got at least 2 points down right now. Now what we need to do, or what I'd like to do, is firstly, let's count up the number of points that we have. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 points. So what we need to do is we need to say, if you have 9 points, what you need to do is you need to go 9 points plus 1, then divide that by 2. So what we'll get is the number 10 over 2, which is 5. So you need to take the 5th point. Okay, if you're just wondering, always plus 1 to this when you're trying to find the median. So for example, if you had 8 points, just go 8 points plus 1 divided by 2. If you've got 20 points, just go 20 plus 1 divided by 2. I'll show you an example in a second which has 8 points or an even number of points. But anyway, for now, let's take the fifth point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This point right here is our median, because you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left hand side. So what we get is 169 is the median. Now what we need to do with this next bit is we need to say, how do we calculate the Q1 and Q3? So this becomes a bit more difficult in a sense, but if you can break these two data points up into two squares, what you can see is that your first quarter is going to be 169 to 181. So what's going to be in between these 2 points right here? So we just need to count that your quartile is going to be 169, 172, 175. This point right here is going to be our Q3. So going to be 175. This is because you can see that there's going to be 1, 2 points on the right hand side, and 1, 2 points on the left hand side. So this is going to be our Q3 value. Same thing with the other side, 157, 159, 164, 166, and 169. Q1 value is going to be 164, because there's going to be 2 points on the right hand side and 2 points on the left hand side. So again, we've got that idea that this is the first quarter, this is the second quarter, this is the third quarter, this is the fourth quarter. Okay. Now that you have your 5-figure summary, all you need to do now is draw this up on a box plot. So I'm just going to quickly copy this down. So 157, 164, 169, 175, and 181. So this is going to be our min, this is going to be Q1, median, Q3, and max. So let's draw out a scale. Okay, this is just going to be a very rough sketch. So 8. So this is going to start at 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 180. Okay, so let's draw these points. The first point is going to be at 157, and this is going to represent the minimum. So 157 lies about here. Next point is going to be 181. 181 represents the maximum, so it's going to be roughly around here. Now the next point is you can choose between whichever one you want to draw these 3 points, but here is where you construct the actual box. So 164 will be around here. So since it's Q1, I'm going to start creating the box at this point. Oops, sorry for my not straight line. 175 will be here, so I'm going to start creating a line here. Okay, and my median will be at 169, so it'll be roughly here. Okay, now you can see this can almost be turned into a box. We just need to join these lines, and from here extend and join these lines. So again, if we look at the 5 main bits, this is going to be the minimum, this is going to be Q1, this is going to be the median, and this is going to be Q3, and this will be the maximum. So this is how we transformed these 9 data sets into something to look like this. Okay, so the key parts is make sure you get your 5-figure summary out, and as soon as you've got your 5-figure summary out, plot them onto a graph. So